The other week, I saw Around the World in 80 Days, the 1957 version, on everyone's favorite streaming service, HBO Max. I watched it because legendary, iconic Mexican comedian Mario Moreno Cantinflas co-stars in it. He won a Golden Globe for his performance in that boring-ass movie. Oh my god, that movie is the most boring thing ever. And to his credit, Cantinflas was trying to do comedy so the audience wouldn't fall asleep, but his charm and comedy is completely wasted in that movie. Good job, Hollywood. You're doing great. Then I noticed HBO Max has the Cantinflas biopic, and I'm like, cool, I should watch that. Let me first look up who plays Cantinflas. Oscar Janada, an actor from Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain. Spain. Con una fregada.
You fucking kidding me, right?
You fucking kidding me?
You fucking kidding me? You fucking kidding me?
Okay, it's not that bad. Spoilers, the highlight of this entire movie is Oscar Janada as Mario Moreno and Cantinflas. Did I just say and? Yes, and all will be explained. I had no idea it would line up this way, but the Cantinflas 2014 biopic does have to do with Around the World in 80 Days. Both movies are boring and completely waste Mario Moreno, Cantinflas, and Janada. Both actors in both projects are doing their best, but they don't have good material, so their best can't save these movies. Around the World in 80 Days is super duper boring. Mario Moreno's life was uneventful, and this Cantinflas movie is not only not interesting, but completely misses the mark on why Cantinflas, the comedy and cultural icon, is so beloved, why he was important, and how he managed to connect with so many people across the Spanish-speaking world. Let's dive right in, and hopefully I'll be able to fill in the gaps this movie left out. There isn't much information on how this movie was made. We know why it was made. Cantinflas is an important figure in Mexican cinema and culture, and that should be enough to make a movie about him. Also, the filmmakers clearly wanted to make a movie about a Mexican legend for all the youths. So maybe the youths will go and watch a few Cantinflas flicks and enjoy them like many of our parents and grandparents did. Maybe we can enjoy those movies together, bridging the generational gap. Too bad this movie is not good enough for that. Since there isn't information about this movie, let's instead talk about Mario Moreno and Cantinflas. I keep saying and perhaps that might be a little confusing for you guys who are watching this. There is Mario Moreno, the man, and Cantinflas, the character and icon. Mario was Mario in his everyday life. Mario was Cantinflas in performances and movies. Might be a little obvious to point out, but sometimes there is a tendency to treat performers as if they are their characters, not as the real complicated people they are/were. Mario Fortino Alfonso Moreno Reyes was born on August 11th, 1911, in Mexico City. Mario died on April 20th, 1993, at the age of 81. Mario was one of 8 children and grew up on the tough streets of the Tepito neighborhood in Mexico City. He married Valentina Ivanova on October 27, 1936. Their marriage lasted until Valentina died of cancer in 1966. By all accounts, Mario remained faithful to Valentina his entire marriage. Valentina and Mario adopted a child child in 1961. It's disputed if this child was biologically Mario's. Most of Mario's family who were aware of the adoption at the time say Mario paid the kid's mother $10,000 so he could adopt the kid and save him from the mentally unstable mother. Since Mario told everyone he was sterile, that story seems to be what actually happened. We don't know for sure, but his son, Mario Moreno Ivanova, looks nothing like him, so you can make up your own mind. Mario had a straightforward and kind of boring life. Well, not boring exactly. He did do a lot of interesting things in his time. Boring in the sense that he didn't have any salacious or scandalous events happen during his life. All the drama related to him happened after he died, and it happened between his son and the rest of the family. I won't cover that in this video, but all of that business is bananas, bananas. It's crazy. Sometime in the mid-1930s, Mario developed the character of Cantinflas. There are two theories as to where this name comes from. One, which we see in the movie, a person yelled at him, "En cuál cantina inflas?" and that morphed into Cantinflas. The other, Mario kind of confirmed later in his life. Cantinflas is a name he made up so his family wouldn't know he was a performer in the low-brow traveling tents that were popular in Mexico at the time. Fun fact, in 1992, La Real Academia de España added the verbs cantinflear, cantinflas, y cantinfleada to the official Spanish dictionary. Cantinflas is often called the Mexican Charlie Chaplin, and I thoroughly disagree with that comparison. Chaplin's most famous character was the little tramp that starred in a handful of his movies. But that wasn't the only character Chaplin portrayed. Mario was Cantinflas in everything he did. The little tramp was silent. Cantinflas is known for talking too much. Also, I kind of hate comparisons, especially inaccurate ones like that. I read one comparison that is a bit more accurate. Cantinflas is the Groucho Marx of Mexico. I still don't like the comparison, but that one is a little bit better than the other one. For all you youths, the best way to describe Cantinflas comedy is imagine Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool in everything. I know he kind of already is Deadpool in everything, but more blatantly. Mario continues the grand tradition of comedians playing a version of themselves in movies. Some folks love that kind of comedy. It's not for everyone though, but if you're into it, his movies are very funny. If you're not into that kind of humor, there are movies where the cantinfleadas are at a minimum and the stories are more heartfelt. Good, honest fun for the whole family. Some last tidbits before we move on. Mario was the head of the Actors Union in Mexico. He was involved with and gave a lot of money to charities for orphans and poor people. All the Cantinflas movies are owned by Columbia Pictures. You can find a bunch of them on youtube.com for free. Mario's son, Mario Moreno Ivanova, was involved with the production of this movie. That involvement should have made the movie better, but it didn't. Nuts. I'm gonna tell you what happens in the movie, like always. I'm going to include a couple of fun facts and corrections to mistakes the movie makes. There are quite a few. You'd think a movie like this would have a fact checker, but nah. Anyway, let's do it. Cantinflas 2014 was written by Edui Tijerna and Sebastián del Amo. Del Amo also directed this movie. Tijerna's filmography is mostly religious content and TV specials. The highest profile project is this movie. Del Amo's filmography doesn't have anything of note. Fun fact, Yul Brynner in this movie is played by Del Amo. He looks more like Dominic Toretto than Yul no-brainer, but okay. The main cast is Oscar Hanada as Mario Moreno Cantinflas, Michael Imperioli as Mike Todd, and Ilse Salas as Valentina Ivanova. Hanada has been in quite a few Hollywood movies. The one I've seen is The Losers, and I only remember Chris Evans in his chones in that movie. Oh yeah, and the awesome cartoon violence of Rambo Last Blood. After seeing him be good in this movie, I'm curious to see Hanada in the Luis Miguel bio series and the Hernan Cortez miniseries. Imperioli is probably best known for being in The Sopranos. I know him as Lucy's brother Uriel on one of my favorite shows ever, Lucifer. Imperioli also looks a lot like Larry from Three's Company. Yes, I'm old. I enjoyed how the Hollywood movie stars were played by Latino actors. Take that, whitewashing. Let's get into the plot of the movie. The movie tells you the film landscape of 1955 Hollywood. This movie is kind of about the making of Around the World in 80 Days. So boring, that movie. It's 1955 in Los Angeles. Mike Todd arrives to meet with legend Elizabeth Taylor. Mike is going around Hollywood to get the biggest stars to do cameos in Around the World. No success in getting Liz to be in the movie. Mike first hears about Mario Moreno. Flashback to 1931, Veracruz, Mexico. We get our first look at Mario. Mario walks into a tent to get a job and catches a bit of the show happening inside. Crowds in tents love to heckle. A fight breaks out. These folks are wild. Mario is hired to be the Pagola tent helper. We learn Mario fancies himself a boxer. Tent owner Don Jose's daughter is making eyes at Mario. Mario and Don Jose go to the boxing ring to ask about the fight Mario was supposed to be in. Don Jose makes a bet for Mario to fight this swole dude. Mario fights in a comical way. The crowd treats him like a matador. Mario gets his lights knocked out. Mario gets the idea to try bullfighting. Mario watches a dude bullfight and heckles him. Mario gets challenged to fight the bull. Mario bullfights in a comical way. Bull knocks his lights out. Mario does a blackface. Yikes. Routine at the tent. Mario flops hard in blackface. Crowd revolts. Mario has to calm them down. Mario inadvertently does comedy for the crowd. Mario discovers he is funny by accident. Don Jose's daughter gets fresh with Mario. Don Jose fires Mario and throws him into the mud. Mario meets and is offered a job by Stanislasio Shalinsky. Cut back to 1955 and Mike is meeting with his producers John and Maurice. John and Maurice are about to cancel the movie. Mike mentions he got Mario to be in the movie. John tells us Mike has to get Mario to be in the big press conference promotional for the movie in 1 week. Cut back to 1931, Ciudad de Mexico. Mario arrives at the Valentina tent Estan told him about. Mario sees Valentina for the first time. Cut back to Mike. He is being informed that he has to go to Mexico to meet with Mario. Mike is gonna watch Mario fight a bull. Cut back to Mario and Estan rehearsing a bit. Mario wants to do improv and Estan agrees. Mario has to present an act. We see the Cantinflas pants. His monologue is intercut with his romance with Valentina. Mario and his crew are out watching a theater show. Estan is talking about how they are lower class and will never be accepted into the higher classes. Mario gets ideas about political humor. At a nightclub, Mario asks Valentina to be exclusive. Mario and Valentina are at Santa Maria la Ribera in 1933. Walking into their tent, Mario runs into an old friend. Mario and the friend speak Chilango. That's the best way I can describe it. Valentina is confused by the slang. Mario explains how he is speaking Mexican. This is 100% fine. No notes. Mario transforms into Cantinflas for Valentina. Stan and wife see his look and approve. They do a bit for the audience. A drunk guy is heckling them. The drunk guy says something about Cantina Inflas. Mario decides to call his character Cantinflas. Mario is offered a job in a theater. He takes his crew with him. Mario asks Valentina to marry him. She accepts. They get married. They talk about having a lot of kids. Cut back to 1955. Mike goes to see a bullfight. Mike meets Jacques, Mario's manager. In my headcanon, this bullfighter is Luis Miguel Dominguin. That will make sense in a minute. We see Mario look cool as a bullfighter. We discover how rich and successful Mario is. Mike meets Mario. Mike offers Mario the role of the Apache chief in Around the World. Mario is offended by the offer. Mario rejects the offer. He's been offered way better. Cut to 1935, Teatro Folies Bergeres. The crew arrives at their new fancy job. They meet the star Manolo Mendel. He is a typical rude, holier-than-thou thespian. They see their job is to be cleaning people. Mario complains to the boss Don Fustenberg. A newsboy on the street recognizes Cantinflas. The kid tells Mario he'll help promote the show so folks can catch a Cantinflas performance. Cantinflas does the speech from Si yo fuera diputado. Crowds are loving Cantinflas. Mendel is a prima donna. I think this cut means Cantinflas replaces Mendel. Agustin Lara is playing the piano. Cut back to Mike meeting with Maurice. Maurice tells Mike the movie is in jeopardy because Mario isn't involved. Maurice leaves and an English guy talks to Mike. English guy tells Mike to ask Cantinflas instead of Mario to be in the movie. English guy turns out to be Charles Chaplin. This is impossible, seeing that Chaplin was already in exile since 1953. Cut to 1940 at Estudios Churubusco, where Cantinflas is filming his first movie? Ahí está el detalle. In real life, this was Cantinflas' sixth movie. Mario fights with the director over improv. Director says the movie will be a total failure because of all the improv. Movie is not a failure at all. It's a blockbuster. Posa films in 1941. Mario gets together with Jacques. Cantinflas films Ni Sangre Ni Arena with Pedro Almendares. Improv pisses off the director. Mario fires the director. 1941, Cantinflas films El Gendarme Desconocido. Mario finally gets the artistic freedom he wants. Mario is reading his good reviews in the newspaper to Valentina. They are looking at how much their lives have changed. Valentina wants to spend more time with Mario. Mario does a Cantinflas thing, and Valentina is not amused. Valentina feels their life is empty. Mario has to reassure her that everything is fine. Mario is at a union workers meeting. Mario witnesses corruption at the meeting. It's raining. Valentina is sad and alone. Mike meets with Chaplin, who is watching A Trip to the Moon for some reason. It's still raining in 1945 at Mario's house. A toy baby is crawling on the floor. Valentina is in tears. We learn she can't have kids, and Mario wasn't there for her. In real life, Mario and Valentina never had kids of their own because reportedly Mario was the sterile one. Mario goes out into the rain for dramatic effect. Cantinflas is filming 1945's Un Día con el Diablo. Lucy? This guy is Miguel M. Delgado. He directed almost all of Cantinflas' movies. Mario has a three-way with these devil ladies. Mario is fighting the corrupt unions. Mario proposes a new uncorrupt union for actors. Actors stand off at Estudios Churubusco. El Indio Fernandez joins them. Mario and other actors are picketing in front of El Palacio de Bellas Artes, a roll call of the actors of the golden age of Mexican film. Unions are able to come to an agreement. Miroslava has an affair with Mario. This, again, is disputed. Miroslava is said to have committed suicide because she couldn't be with Mario. It's also said that she killed herself because of bullfighter Luis Miguel Dominguin. This guy in my headcanon. My mom told me there are folks who think she didn't commit suicide at all, but was murdered because she was a Czech spy who knew too much. Where is the Miroslava biopic? But again, all accounts I could find maintain that Mario stayed faithful till the end. Valentina and her sister hear the rumors on the radio. Cut to Mike waiting for a reply from Cantinflas. Maria Felix would not walk around the party like this. Party for Mario's big wigs where Mario is arm in arm with Miroslava. Concuño Estan is drunk and makes a scene. Mario tries to calm him down. Estan insults Mario, telling him that Mario can have kids. Mario and Valentina go to a theater dedication in Cantinflas' name. Valentina sees a poor guy in the window and leaves. Mario cuts the ribbon and runs after her. Valentina doesn't want to be with him anymore because he is rich and powerful now. Valentina leaves him. Mario is drinking in front of a painting of Cantinflas. Mario throws a drink and a fit at the painting. Mario looks over and sees the script for Around the World in 80 Days. Mario opens it and sees a letter from Chaplin. We don't know if such a letter exists, but Chaplin did say this about Cantinflas in real life. Mario dissolves into a puddle of tears. Mike is meeting with his producers. Maurice tells John that Cantinflas is a no-show. Mike notices something. Mario was pretending to be a waiter and surprises the table. John is impressed and starstruck. Frank Sinatra is playing the piano. Turns out Mario is going to play Passepartout. They have the super important press conference. Mario invites Valentina to a special dinner. Mario admits he was wrong and apologizes to Valentina. Mario and Valentina are going to be together throughout the filming of Around the World. They kiss and make up. It's 1955 and Around the World is being filmed. They recreate some scenes from the movie, honestly better than the real scenes in Around the World. Mike screens the movie for John. Mike and Mario are having drinks. Mario wants to stay in Mexico and not do Hollywood. 1956 at the Golden Globes. Mike arrives with Liz Taylor. Mario and Valentina are walking the red carpet. Mario is overshadowed by Marlon Brando. Mario wins the Golden Globe. We get end credits telling us what happened in real life to all the folks in the movie. End credits over a recreation of a scene from El Bolero de Raquel. I'll link to the real scene in the Carcancha down below. It's pretty funny. The end. In a couple of these videos, I mentioned how these biopics are missing a theme. I think a theme is important because it helps anchor a story and gives it a purpose. Why does this movie exist? What story are they telling? Why should I care? A theme helps to answer these questions and helps to connect you, the viewer, with the story. A theme done well is incorporated throughout the story and is reflected in the storytelling itself. This movie was missing a theme big time, and I'm really shocked by it. If these filmmakers felt they needed to tell the story of Mario Moreno and Cantinflas, you'd think the story would be more than, well, he was famous and that's a good enough reason to do a movie. The filmmakers should have asked themselves, why was Cantinflas such a beloved icon? And then make a movie to answer that question, but they didn't. That shocked me because if you watch any Cantinflas movie, that question is answered. The answer to that question makes for what should have been the theme of the movie. The theme should have been heart. A sentimental theme of heart, emotions, feelings. That is what's missing. Anyone can tell jokes and make people laugh. What separates a funny person / comic with a legend and icon is what their comedy has to say. Iconic comedy has something to say about living day to day, about the human experience, about existence. Good comedy makes you laugh, makes you feel, and makes you think. Cantinflas' comedy does all three, and this movie did not show that at all. Cantinflas' movies have comedy, but they are also really sincere and full of heart. Famously, most all of these movies are about the poor and lower classes in Mexico. How, even though those folks are poor, that doesn't mean that they are worthless. Cantinflas' comedy in those movies is critical about how the poor are treated and how the lower classes have to be respected. There is a little hint of that in this movie, but not enough. There There would be more, or it would have been clearer if the filmmakers had picked a sentimental theme to guide them through telling this story. Since Mario used movies and Cantinflas to talk about politics and the lower classes, you might think a political theme might have been better, and maybe that would have been more interesting for sure, but those movies and his dialogues were not preachy. Mario didn't use the poor for political gain or political points. From all accounts, all he wanted was more justice and equity for the poor and lower classes. That was communicated through Cantinflas having love and respect for lower classes and the poor. Since so much sincere and earnest love is in those movies, that's why I feel a sentimental, heartfelt theme is what this movie needed. With a sentimental, heartfelt theme, then maybe we, the audience, would have cared about the different things that happened in this movie. We might have cared when Mario's marriage was in trouble. We might have cared when he lost the respect of his family. Instead of fake manufactured fights, we might have seen conflict come from a real place. And that might have made us care, made us feel more than, well, that happened. Let's take a small break from all the negativity and chat about what was good in this movie. There were a couple of things that worked well in this movie. I do wish this movie was way better than the final product because it had a lot of potential to be really interesting. The best thing in this movie was Oscar Janada as Mario and Cantinflas. Oscar 1000% understood the assignment, and that is why I'm not mad about them casting a guy from Spain as this Mexican icon. At first, I thought they got Oscar because he looks like the Hollywood version of Mario, but after watching the movie a couple of times, I realized Oscar, as a talented actor, understood that Mario Moreno and Cantinflas were two different people. If the movie was only about Cantinflas, get someone who can do the imitation. Since the movie is about Mario, they got an actor who could act as Mario and do a very good imitation when the story called for it. Oscar even does the real thing of Mario using Cantinflas as a defense mechanism. Little touches like that made the whole movie a lot better than it was. Oscar did a great job, and I do wish he would have had a better movie to work in. Dude, imagine if instead of this story, the movie would have explored where is the line between Mario and Cantinflas. That would have been so interesting to theorize about personas and acting. Or a story where Mario grows to hate Cantinflas and then learns to love him again. Or at least learns how important that character is to people. That would have been interesting, but alas, those movies only exist in my mind. The other thing that was good in this movie is that all the Mexico Mario Cantinflas parts were in Spanish. Gracias a Dios. I can't imagine how they would have tried to do this movie entirely in English. The Cantinfladas have to be in Spanish. There is no other way around it. Even though the English subtitles were far better than I thought they would be, doing the movie in English would have been a crime. What else? I mentioned the subtitles being good, right? Geez, I'm complimenting the subtitle person. I am really struggling to find good things in this movie. You know, I enjoyed the effort of trying to introduce Mexican cinema legends to the American/international market. It didn't work out as well as it should have, but I applaud the effort. That's it, I think. Next section, please. Everything else. Next section. That was half a joke. The rest of the movie is confused and doesn't know what story to tell. Since it doesn't know what story it's telling, we the audience don't care about what's happening in the movie. Since Mario's life was free of drama, this movie makes up drama. And it would be one thing if it makes up drama and then resolves it, but the made up drama gets left to the side and what is resolved has nothing to do with anything. It's so confusing. The main conflict of the movie is Mario cheating on his wife, right? Well, no. When Valentina confronts Mario, she doesn't mention the cheating or even leaving her alone for a long period of time. She yells at him for forgetting his roots and for him letting himself be corrupted by the Mexican elites. We never saw this corruption in the movie, like at all. Mario has a classic rags to riches story. He starts out being a janitor and through hard work and paying his dues, ends up being super successful and rich, like Drake. Since that success is earned, I don't see the corruption. If Mario had to stab people in the back or betray someone, then yes, he's been corrupted. But that doesn't happen. Mario even fights corrupt unions in Mexico so actors get treated better. How is that Mario losing touch with his roots? The other fight Mario has is with his concuño Stan, and Stan has the same criticism for Mario, that Mario doesn't care about where he came from or who helped him get there. Again, we never see this. We never see Mario cutting out Stan or Valentina from his projects to favor more famous people. We never even see Mario turn into a diva like we saw Mendel toward the beginning of the movie. Had the movie had one scene where Mario kicks mud at some poor kid's face, then yeah, he's a rich monster. That never happens though. Both times these manufactured fights happened, I yelled at the movie, "Why are you mad, bro?" I'm confused because the movie is confused. Since the movie is confused, I couldn't help but wonder. I do feel a little bit like a jerk asking that question. I know how hard it is to make a movie, and no one ever sets out to make a bad one. I have, though, seen a handful of Mexican cinema from the last decade, and I'm worried Mexican filmmakers not only don't know what they are doing, but it feels like they've never even seen a movie before. There is a difference between making rookie mistakes, getting overly ambitious, and not knowing how to tell a story visually or having your movie make sense. I refuse to believe that Del Toro, Cuarón, and Iñárritu are the only good filmmakers Mexico has produced lately. Mexico, mi amor, you have a rich history of cinematic excellence. A lot of it is referenced in this movie. What's happening? There are a lot of technical problems that hurt this movie. Here are the biggest problems in no particular order. Parallel stories. This movie is telling two stories. Usually when there are parallel stories happening, the two stories reflect each other and come together at some point. When I say they reflect each other, it means that both stories have similar things happen, or one story reinforces a theme in the other story. Both stories have to have something in common. In this movie, the parallel stories have nothing to do with each other. One is the story of Mario and Cantinflas. The other is the story of how Mike Todd got Around the World made. Those two stories have nothing in common other than Cantinflas starring in Around the World. The making of the movie storyline isn't much of a story either. Every time the movie cuts to 1955, the entire film comes to a screeching halt. Mario's story is a story, and the other plot is just Mike going, "Man, we have to get this movie made. I have to get this movie made. Boy, I hope the movie gets made." And that's it. They could have cut that out completely and you wouldn't have missed it. Aviator style film stock. This is the kind of thing only I notice, and it bugged me. It's not uncommon for a movie to use different film looks to differentiate between two timelines. The different film looks were not different enough to tell the difference fully what story is taking place at what date. They look too similar. I called it aviator style because in that movie, Scorsese uses the film styles of different years to show the passage of time. This movie was trying to emulate that without knowing how to do it properly. It would have made more sense if all the Mario parts would have been in black and white and all the 1955 parts would have been in 1950s Hollywood Technicolor. If you're using this technique, really commit to it and learn to do it well. Unclear timeline. This is a problem at the end of the movie. The last timestamp we see is this one of 1945. Then the timeline is dropped. Valentina leaves Mario. We don't know what date that is. We don't know for how long she's away. Next thing we know, Mario accepts the role in Around the World in 80 Days in 1955. Did Valentina leave Mario for 10 years? No idea. Maybe if the film stocks were better differentiated, I wouldn't be so confused, but I'm very confused. Mario hates Cantinflas, but accepts the film offer as Cantinflas? This is the strangest moment in the movie. Mario is drinking while staring at his Cantinflas painting. He yells at the painting how much he hates Cantinflas. Then he reads the chaplain letter, calling him Cantinflas, and he accepts the role in Around the World. This doesn't make sense. If Mario is at his low point of hating his own creation, why would he respond to the letter calling him Cantinflas? The way the scene reads is that Mario hates Cantinflas because that is why his wife left him. But Charlie Chaplin thinks Cantinflas is good, so Mario gets over that hatred real quick. All Mario needed was the Chaplin seal of approval? Why would Mario care what Chaplin thinks? Mario in the movie or in real life was never like, Chaplin is my hero. His approval means everything to me. So this moment makes no sense and doesn't really resolve anything story-wise. All of these things together in the same movie makes me think the filmmakers don't know what they're doing. Again, these aren't rookie mistakes. These mistakes make it seem like they've never seen a movie before. Come on, Mexican cinema, you can do better. I would go on, but then this would turn into those terrible cinema sins videos where it's not thoughtful criticism but inane nitpicking. I'll reserve that kind of stuff for a truly terrible movie. This movie was not good, but it wasn't total caca either. Like I said, it's just confused and boring. It's funny how this video turned into an intermediate film class. Sometimes we can learn more from poorly made movies than from excellently crafted ones. If you want to know more about Cantinflas, I've linked to the Historia detrás del Mito down in the carcancha below. I've also linked to some clips from Cantinflas movies so you'll better understand his comedy and politics. I'll also recommend the Cantinflas movies I have seen and enjoyed. Si yo fuera diputado, El Analfabeto, El Padrecito, El Señor Doctor, El Profe, and Su Excelencia. I watched all of these as a kid, and for this video, I watched a bunch of clips from these movies. They do seem to hold up. My better recommendation is to ask your parents or grandparents what Cantinflas movies they like. Watch those with them and have a nice time connecting with your family. More than anything, I think that's what Mario would have wanted. And if you're gonna watch this movie, watch it with your parents or grandparents. Listen to their fun facts and stories. I promise you, it will make the movie so much better. I hope the next movie we watch is a good one. I'm getting a little tired of these less than good movies. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, salud, mi familia.